Welcome to Afternoons with Jeff Hoeben. The Afternoons with Jeff Hoeben Show is recorded before a live audience. And now your host, Jeff Hoeben.
Well, welcome everyone. We're so glad you could be with us today on the Afternoons with Jeff Hoeben Show. This is in fact the third episode. So we're coming to you live today after a wonderful day here at camp. We have just celebrated camp's 60th year. In fact, we've been celebrating Camp's 60th all summer long. We've had a birthday party every Monday night. And here as we enter into the fall, we've celebrated once again. This afternoon on the show, we are so glad to have with us, all the way from County Longford, Ireland, Mr. Francis Gray. Let's give it up for Mr. We've got no coffee or tea for you today.
It's okay.
I've had
loads today already.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us, Francis. And is it true that you came in just for the celebration today?
It's just for the celebration today. So I arrived in Chicago on Thursday night, and I travelled up by train yesterday, and I'm here for the celebration today, and I leave tomorrow morning.
All right. How is train travel in the U.S. versus train travel in Ireland or in Europe?
Train travel here in the US is so much more comfortable.
Really?
So much more spacious. You have double-decker trains. You have proper dining cars. And you have fabulous scenery on the way up. And it's a 4-hour journey approximately, but it was very comfortable.
And if you're saying from Chicago to Wisconsin, fabulous scenery.
Yes.
Wow.
I can easily see how Monsignor is so at home here, because on my way up I was looking out the windows and looking at the rolling hills and the farmland and the trees around the place, and I said, it is like home.
All right.
No wonder he wanted to come back and be here, and he is buried in Baraboo. So
he is. So you mentioned Monsignor. Can you tell us a little bit about where you fit in with Monsignor Francis Gray and that family history?
Okay. Topher has been introducing me to people as the GREAT-nephew. So I am...
Not average?
No, not good.
Not mediocre?
I am the GREAT-nephew.
Right.
So I am around camp today. That's the way I've been introduced. So my grandfather was a brother of Monsignor's.
Okay.
So in Monsignor's family, there were 9 children. Okay? But only 4 survived. So namely Monsignor Francis, my grandfather Matthew, and they had 2 sisters, Rose and Mary. Now Mary was married to a Slattery man from Clare, but they lived in Ithaca, New York.
Oh, okay.
But Rose lived at home. So then the next generation down was, we'd say, my father, his brother, who is also Father Francis.
Right.
He's a priest in our home diocese of Ardent Clonmacnoise, and we have one aunt called Mary as well, and Mary has 5 children. She has 4 daughters and 1 son.
Wow.
So the line is quite small. We have, in my family, I'm the only boy, and I have 2 older sisters, and on the other side of the family, we have the 4 girls and the 1 boy. So it's quite a short, small line that we have directly to Monsignor.
And so you are the third Francis?
Yeah, Francis
correct?
III.
Right.
The year of Francis and everything.
And the only one who doesn't wear a collar.
That's correct.
So do you get some flack in your family for
there
that?
There has been, it's been known, especially around the parish and stuff, that, I was the Francis who didn't become the Father Francis. So,
however, you still have retained the great, so
that's true, yeah.
Right.
And, my vocation may be similar in ways to Monsignor's. Monsignor had a great interest in youth, and
sure.
I'm a teacher. So, I teach 10 to 12-year-olds at home in Ireland. So, that's really where we have the vocation connection there, that we
sure.
both work with youth.
With youth. Wonderful. Real quickly, I'm going to go to the audience. Does anyone in the audience have a question that they'd like to ask Francis Gray? I'll give you. Anna has a question.
Yes. I wondered, in Ireland, do you have summer camps just like here?
In Ireland, we don't have summer camps to the extent of what Camp Gray would be. In Ireland, we would have, we'll say, football camps, sports camps, but we wouldn't have faith camps.
Okay.
The way you can gather together the religious plus the sporting and plus the adventure plus the horses, all the wonderful things you do here. We don't have anything like that in Ireland.
Wow. So yeah, let's talk about that for a minute in terms of what is it like for you to come to the States and see this camp that a relative of yours was the was the founder and the inspiration for.
Yeah, he dreamed of a place like this, and it's wonderful to come here, and it's a great honour, it's a privilege to come and walk, in the footsteps and to walk through the dream that he had.
Yeah.
And it's yourself, Jeff. It's Rebecca. It's Toher. It's the whole family of Camp Great that has kept this.
And the audience.
Who have kept Camp alive and kept it developed. And I like to keep in touch with Camp when I'm at home in Ireland. And Thor had written an article, I think sometime in May, on a story from the trees. And it's a story of a great white pine. And it really tells the story of Camp Grey and its developments since those early days in 1953 when Monsignor would have purchased the first 100 acres of land.
It's amazing what that pine knows, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It can tell stories.
All right, anybody else have a question that we need to talk? Yeah, Madeline.
First of all, have you been to Camp Grey before?
I have. I was here in the fall of 2011. Very brief visit. It was on the eve of Halloween, the 31st of October to the 1st of November. And I arrived quite late in the afternoon. It was probably 4 p.m. and I was gone by 11 p.m. But we squashed so much into them few hours, Jeff. It was unbelievable. Myself and another friend came. We had a great few hours there, really enjoyed. And it gave me the taste to come back again.
Sure.
And you mentioned at the time, 2013 was the big year. So kind of etched that in memory and go, yeah, please God, all go well. I'll be there.
Yeah, because in fact, when you were here the previous time,
yes,
you took me to someplace I'd never been. We both went to visit your great uncle's gravesite
in Baraboo.
In Baraboo,
yeah.
So.
And it was lovely to be there on All Souls Day.
It
was
was,
only
yes.
when we came home and go, oh right, that was the 1st of November. So it was lovely to be there. It was lovely to see it. And forever grateful, Jeff, for your kindness during that trip. You brought us to St. Joseph's Baraboo, where he was pastor, and then to the graveyard.
Oh, see, Claire's got a question. Yeah.
Do you know how Monsignor ended up in Baraboo, Wisconsin?
Right. The story of how Monsignor ended up out here was when he trained for the priesthood. The college he attended was St. Peter's in Waterford in Ireland.
Okay.
But due to our War of Independence, the college closed. So he moved his studies out here to Wisconsin to St. Francis Seminary in Marathon. And then he was ordained 90 years ago at the Capuchin Monastery.
Wow.
And he had his first Mass in Baraboo, which is lovely because that's where he finished as well.
Right. So when you go back and talk to your family at home, what do you tell them about Camp Grey now?
Like, where do you start and where do you stop with? Like, it's an amazing story what's here. Like, it's 225 acres. I tried to make my way around some of it today, and between the different coloured trails, the different activity areas, it's just unbelievable that you have so much going on, but it's so well run and structured, and it's such a learning place, but also a place of faith. Like this morning, we had Mass at 9 a.m. It was lovely. There's a real sense of family. Anyone you meet along the way, they welcome you to the Camp Grey family. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely is a worthwhile visit. It was on my to-do list for years, because we would have been told at home about there was a place called Camp Grey. And, it was in America, and I remember my first visit to America was 2010, and we went to New York, and I remember just throwing my eye on the map going, where is Wisconsin? And like in Ireland, we can drive north to south in 5 hours or east to west in 3 hours. Wow. But I was looking at the map and going, it wouldn't be possible.
So is there any other members of your family that have plans to, are you going to drag some of them over?
They would love to come. Now my uncle, Father Frank, has been here.
Okay, right.
He has visited camp all right. I know Aunt Mary would love to come, and also her family, and my two sisters will probably come over the next few years. So
great.
You might as well keep some of the chalets free for a while.
Awesome. Yeah. We certainly appreciate you spending some time with us today. You're part of the living history of camp. So as you said, and as we like to say here, you come to Camp Grey for a day and you leave the part of the family. So there's an old adage, I think, that we say. Certainly you are part of the family, and it's wonderful to talk with you today. So we just appreciate you helping us celebrate 60 years, and we look forward to at least 60 more, but I would say beyond that. So thanks for turning out today. As you guys have been a fine audience, so thank you. Yeah, you can clap. Yeah. And it's just been a wonderful, wonderful year. This is kind of a capstone of our celebration. I think we're going to just kind of take a little break from this now, but we've certainly enjoyed celebrating with you all. We thank you for your support, and until the next show, make it a great day. And a shake hands. Thanks so much for coming out.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.